We planned a family trip for my mother-in-law. Now my parents are upset.
Well, maybe you should have planned a better trip.
My husband and I used to go on the same day trip with our families as kids. He went every year with his family in the spring and went to a bunch of other places throughout the day. It happens to be the same place with connections my grandfather had through his whole career, and my parents took me with my grandparents in the fall. By the way, this comes from Just Say and Throwaway, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So we would stay at this one place and go to a museum there because my grandfather loved to tell us about it. So everyone here has a meaningful connection to the place that we went to. We are very fortunate on both sides of our family, are very loving and involved with their kids, helping out very regularly. My father-in-law passed away over a year ago, and my mother-in-law has taken his loss, understandably, very hard. She has said that it is difficult to do things and go places where they used to go. My husband spontaneously decided to take the kids to go to the place they always went in the spring and really wanted to bring his mom so she could see that life still goes on and it's good to make new memories while remembering the time that she had with her husband. I was torn about it because I knew my parents also wanted to go with us, but my husband really didn't want to make it a whole party. I think in his mind, he thought that it wouldn't have allowed his mom to process things in the way that he had hoped. We planned to take a different special trip with them in the fall where we could really stay at that one location, visit the museum, and my dad can share with my kids about what his dad had done. On the way there, I remembered my dad had mentioned stopping by my house today to pick something up for Easter dinner on Sunday, so I texted him and said that my husband surprised me with a day off and we were taking the kids out, and I could just stop by later. This way, he wouldn't wonder what was going on. He asked follow-up questions one at a time, which led to me explaining where we were going. Which means what, Sophia?
I don't know.
It means
What
that
does it mean?
an ICU in the chat, that is, father-in-law might crash the party.
Oh.
And this might, upset husband, upset mother-in-law, trying to, process. And
I see it now. I see the you now.
I tried to keep it vague, but he kept asking questions one detail at a time until he got the whole situation. I am a truthful person, and I knew that they would find out eventually if I didn't tell them. My chatty children would have, and things would have been way worse. My dad was very upset that we would go without them, and he sent several texts asking why we were trying to hurt them and leave them out. I tried to explain that we were only going to this place for one thing and that we weren't doing anything related to my grandfather. I said that we were going to do it with them and do it in the fall. It ended with him saying that he needed space, and my parents canceled Easter. It ruined the whole trip for me, but I put on a happy face for the kids. I mentioned the situation privately to my husband because he could tell my mood shifted, and he was annoyed but also kept things going for the kids and his mom. Even though it was the main reason we went, we were only at the place my parents wanted to go for 1 hour, and it was a 2-hour drive there. The kids had a fun day, and we went to a variety of places along the way, there and back, as all good road trips do. My husband's goal was to recreate the trip his family used to go on with his dad, which is very different from how my family did things. At the end of the trip, my mother-in-law told me that she could tell I was off and had a guess about the situation and that it wasn't fair that I got put in the middle of everything. W mother-in-law.
Yeah.
W mother-in-law. Overall, I just need to know if I am the a-hole for not accommodating my parents and what I can do to make it better. There is an update.
I don't think the a-hole, I think again could have been avoided. I don't think anyone necessarily, maybe the parents are a little bit a-hole-ish for overreacting, but I don't think anyone's like super intensely in the a-hole category. For me, I think it's just like there was a lot of miscommunication that happened.
Yeah, I do think, especially now at this point, OP should have, because also, I think it's kind of a important boundary to set where it's like, hey, right now we're here for, for mother-in-law. She's grieving her husband who passed away, and my husband thinks that this would be a good thing for her, and I think it'll help her. We won't, spoil the surprise of, taking the kids to the places you want to go to. We'll still have that experience. So like, can you grant us the space to like do this for mother-in-law?
Yeah, I think that would have been a good conversation to have.
But we have an update. Ladies and gentlemen, I tried communicating with my parents my intentions for their trip in the future, but they were still upset and said it was not good enough. They explained that the reaction stems from years of my husband not being as active a participant with them as I am with his family over the years. Admittedly, he isn't a very social person and doesn't like to sit still, but he always tried to be there for my parents and help with different projects. There were a handful of times in the past over 20 years when my in-laws would invite us to go to places with them, and we would, but my parents didn't usually initiate any plans. Spending time with them would involve going to their house and watching a movie. We used to do this weekly while dating, but now my husband would rather watch movies at home, especially with our kids being little and having early bedtime. We were always over at my parents' house to hang out, especially in the summer when they would invite us and the kids would go swim. When they have gone on trips with us in recent years, it was something we had talked about and I initiated. That would take place during the work week anyways, when my husband happened to be working. Now, in the past, my parents always hosted holidays, even when we were dating, and I never went to my in-laws for most holidays. We would split half the time at both of them for a few, but always had a holiday dinner with my parents regardless. There was so much stress leading up to it, and I would hear them complain when everyone left. My husband and I eventually took over hosting holidays after getting married so they could relax and just enjoy everyone's company. My mom had mentioned that she missed hosting because she does things differently, and she wanted to host some holidays again. We were going to start with Easter. So this was going to be her grand re-debut as director of the holiday
wait, this
dinners.
is the mom that canceled?
Yes, this is the mom of the mom and father that canceled Easter.
Man. Man. How can it be your re-debut if you cancel it?
But now they canceled after finding out we went on the day trip yesterday and are saying that we haven't done enough with them over our whole time married. We recently took 2 trips with my mother-in-law to help her get past her grief. One, she had bought us expensive tickets for the kids, and we thought that she would enjoy seeing them for one of the times that we went. We spent many more times over the years having dinner or hanging out with my parents. We would see them pretty much every Sunday at church. They live closer and stop by my house more often. I thought things were evenly distributed, but apparently they were not. My parents have a history of overstepping boundaries, doing things to help without asking, and mostly buying big things for us or for the kids that we personally don't like /want /have the space for.
Like a trampoline, I bet.
Ooh, that's such a good...
And you need insurance for that.
Oh.
My mom never let Sam and I have a trampoline because she's like, the insurance is so expensive and like people always get hurt on them.
Oh.
We never had a trampoline.
And my husband has talked to them about it and asked them to ask us first. They get offended that we don't like or want certain things that they get for us. When I was a kid, I always had to pretend to like everything I got or I would hurt their feelings. They said I could tell them if I didn't like something, but then they would be offended and hurt the few times that I tried. So it was easier just to pretend to like everything and just to keep them happy. I'm also adopted and wanted their time adopting me to be worth it, quote unquote. Oh, I've always had a fear that if I wasn't the perfect kid, if I didn't get the best grades, if I did anything wrong socially, if I didn't succeed with college, if I didn't do things the way they wanted, they'd return or abandon me. They kind of proved by canceling Easter and sending me vague texts that things are going to change, including their will, which I didn't particularly care about. Wow.
Why? You guys suck.
Strong
a-holes here.
This might be me taking a giant leap, and I might be wildly off, but I'm just gonna throw it out there.
Throw it.
It's giving parents who adopt to have the kid to like manipulate almost.
Yeah.
You
well,
know?
I think you like some parents will adopt because they want a kid.
Yeah.
Rather than wanting to provide a child,
like the badge of having a kid, or the bragging, like, look at me, I'm a parent, versus like, I want to nurture this child. I want my parents, not their money or their things. By the way, if you want full episodes of stories just like this, well, boy, do I got news for you. Go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeart, and search OK Storytime for 2,000 episodes to listen to. But ladies and gentlemen, before we get into the end of the story, Sophia, what are we thinking?
Oh, man. Honestly, it seems like even if you had communicated with your parents, they seem like the type of people that just make drama over everything.
Yep.
So I think they're strong a-hole in this story. And I mean, just don't let them bring you down, you know?
Yeah.
You could say, hey, we'd love to see it, but if you keep canceling things, you're making the choice. You're making the decision here.
Yeah, like if you want to see us more, then don't cancel the things we have set up to see
each
you
other.
More.
Yeah.
Where's the mathing here?
Silly.
Come on. Well, let's get into the end of the story. If they are concerned that we aren't spending enough time with them, why cancel the time we had planned to spend with them so we see them even less? I cannot imagine doing this to my kids, no matter how often they see other people. They see it as I'm choosing my husband and his family over them, which I never have. My husband apologized to me that he isn't the son-in-law they wanted and is probably the root cause of all this. He marches to the beat of his own drum and he sets boundaries.
Hey, absolutely. It's ridiculous that they're saying, sorry, we had to put you in this position. It's like, no, you didn't.
I'm so sorry you made us do this to you.
It's ridiculous.
I greatly apologize for you forcing our hand.
There was no other way.
I can't hold it
It had to
back.
be like this.
I don't know if any of this is normal, a-hole-ish, or not. And that's the end of the story.
And there we freaking have it,
That's
man.
finito on Perintos.
Wow. Yeah, I think your parents are a bit much. A bit drama filled.
So much drama.